Dad's shock morphed into rage as he stood up. You dare raise your witch eyes to me? He dragged me to the correction room, a windowless cell with mirrors painted black up to 5 feet high. Only the space I wasn't allowed to see reflected back. He locked me in for 3 days while James slid food under the door, describing his expressions that I couldn't see. The extended family arrived to restore order. Aunts who hadn't seen faces in decades examined my neck posture. Uncles quoted scripture about female submission. They discussed having me declared mentally unfit, maybe surgically blinding me for my own good. Mom whispered to the floor that I should just comply before they did something permanent. Then Mom ended everything. She shuffled into the correction room while Dad demonstrated proper gaze angles on me. For the first time in 28 years, she raised her head. Her neck cracked audibly as she looked him in the eye. I want to see my daughter's face, she said. Dad went white. She dialed 911 while maintaining eye contact, describing our situation. As sirens approached and Dad scrambled to hide the correction equipment, Mom turned to me. Look at me, she said. I raised my eyes and finally saw my mother's face, lined and fierce and beautiful. Never look down again. But as my eyes met hers, Dad grabbed the leather strap from James and advanced on both of us, saying, if you want to use your eyes so badly, let's see how well they work when they're swollen shut. Mom's hand shot out and caught Dad's wrist before the strap could hit us, her fingers wrapping around his arm with more strength than I knew she had after 28 years of keeping her head down. The pounding on our front door got louder and someone was shouting about police. Open up, while Dad's face went from red rage to white panic as he tried to pull free from Mom's grip, but she wouldn't let go. He dropped the strap and started shoving things into drawers, telling James to hide the collar in the basement. But James just stood there frozen as the door crashed open and 3 officers rushed in with their hands on their weapons. They pulled Dad away from Mom and pushed him against the wall, while another officer took James to the living room, and the third one guided Mom and me to the kitchen, everyone in different rooms within seconds. Dad started talking fast about how this was a religious household, and we had freedom of worship in America, and they had no right to interfere with family discipline. But the officer with him just kept asking if anyone needed medical attention, while Mom stood there with her chin up, staring straight at Dad through the doorway, even though her whole body shook like she had a fever. The paramedics showed up and checked us over right there in the kitchen, shining lights in our eyes and feeling our necks, then said we needed to go to the emergency room for proper documentation of injuries. James started screaming from the living room that we were betraying everything, that we were destroying the family, that God would punish us for our defiance, while they loaded Mom into one ambulance and me into another. Through the back window, I watched 2 officers reading Dad his rights while he stood there in handcuffs, his mouth moving, but I couldn't hear what he was saying anymore. At the hospital, they put us in separate rooms at first, but then brought us together once they realized we were both victims, and a nurse came in with a camera and started taking pictures of every mark on my body. She explained each photo as she took it, saying this bruise here would be evidence, this scar would help the case, these collar marks on my neck showed a pattern of abuse, all while being gentle and asking if I needed breaks. She documented the strap welts on my legs that never healed right.